All right, Queen. So we're going to talk about, are you too independent for love? So you're someone who is like so independent that has had a hard time, like finding love, finding the one. You're so successful and independent that it just doesn't seem to be for me. For you, it doesn't seem to be compatible, right? Uh, you're like, it's because I'm so independent. And here's the thing with the woman that makes her independence, that's a ability, by the way. With the woman that makes her independence like her like identity, kind of like she leads with that, and it's kind of like front and center, like whether it be her career, whether it be her business, kind of like when she leads with that, like she's someone whom it's having this need to constantly prove to herself that she can do it alone. And she wears this aloneness as a badge of honor. Kind of like you think you see yourself as a hero because you're doing it alone, right? But let me break it to you. So that's baby. So at the core of that, a woman who has done it alone, who's doing it alone, just hold on a second. Okay. I was saying that, behind the woman who wears aloneness as a badge of honor, there's someone with wounds, right? You you've been misunderstood, you've been unmet, you've been unseen, right? You suffered betrayals in the past, right? Or abandonment. And you had to be alone in the past, and it was the most painful thing. But now, no. So you're someone who has been betrayed in the past, who had to do it alone due to being abandoned in some form, right? So you did it alone, and it was the most painful thing back in the day. So you thought, well, I don't want to depend on anyone, so that you're never left, right? So if you don't depend on anyone, then you'll never be left, right? But here's the thing. When you think that being with someone is depending on them, this is where the disconnect happens. You're not meant to be with a man or with a husband and depend on them. So, for example, this is very common for women to think that if you allow him to do his literal job of fully providing for you and protecting you, that you are depending on him, right? It's not like that. It's not like you can't do it alone. You can. We all know that. You've proven it over and over and over. So it's not that you can't. It's just that you are allowing to be supported, to be guided. And like I say this in a lot of my videos now, the woman whom doesn't allow a man to support her is very likely a woman who doesn't allow life to support her. She doesn't know that the universe, that source energy, that God, whatever you want to call it, has her back. There's a safety net, right? She's someone who doesn't see that safety net. If she cannot trust men to support her, she also cannot trust life. She doesn't, right? Um, Again, likely someone with anxiety at in the back of her head. So it comes from a wounded place where you lead with this identity of independence, right? As if marriage itself was what makes you dependent. It's not. It's how you are being, right? And here's the thing, picture these two things. being someone who who is successful career-wise, who can make money, you're stunning, you're beautiful, you take care of yourself, and you arrive home alone, there's no one to hug. There's no one, there's no husband, there's no kids, there's nothing. But now imagine you being successful, career-wise, making money, being beautiful, doing the things you want, and also having someone to love you and support you, to come and hug you at night, right? So these two things aren't incompatible. It has That's baby. In fact, it has nothing to do one with the other. These are ways of being, right? You can be someone fully accomplished when you are not alone, when you're with someone. Obviously, if you keep choosing the wrong people, obviously, because a lot of these women, they say, "Oh, I'd rather be alone than with someone bad." Well, duh. Yeah, you don't want to be with you know, a freaking train wreck of a guy, right? No. So this is what we literally learn and embody in Venus Incarnate. We learn the art of selection, the art of discernment, to know how to select men no matter where you are, where you met them, right? So it's not like, you throw the baby with the bathwater. It's you knowing how to select, right? So anyway, if you see yourself as your key identity, and like everywhere you go you talk about your independence, or it's all you think about, or it's kind of like your biggest badge of honor that you're doing it all alone, understand that it comes from a wounded place. So how you heal that? Well, of course, that's a huge part of the Venus Incarnate journey, stepping into the goddess version of you who gets the ring fast. Healing that is part of it, because it's program with, feminine energy at its core. Dating dating in your feminine energy, which is a completely different thing. It's courtship for marriage, right? It's not when you are hyper focused on one man. No, you are open to the universe and what the universe has to bring you, right? So anyway, let me know in the comments if this has been you, the woman that wears as a badge of honor being alone, and who glorifies being alone, and who knows deep down that it doesn't feel great to come home alone, because your kids are gonna leave sooner or later. They're gonna leave. So they're not your life partner, your children. So anyway, there's that. So I'll see you on the next time.